Welcome to the Cutting Reel. I'm Carl.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Paul.
I'm Dan.
And today we're going to blow your socks off. I've been, the thing I wanted to start with, Red Dead 2's coming out. We talked about that last week.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it again. But I've been getting into westerns, which I've never, I'm a film student. We're all film students. But I've never really admired a good old western. The Searchers, this is probably the main western I've seen that's probably the first western I saw that was like a big, hailed as one of the best.
Yeah.
Wasn't king at all. But recently, I've been diving in more into the genre and I'm loving it. And I think if people can get past the sort of stereotypes, then they'll probably find some good films that are for them.
What stereotypes?
I feel like a lot of people don't like it. I mean, the reasons I didn't like it before, when I was younger, was that for the most part, even though they still make westerns now, it's like there's like a different kind of western now. It's like a modern western, whereas before it's like John Wayne just like punching people and killing Indians. What he perceives as Indians, Native Americans. And I just the other week I started watching For a Few Dollars More again, which is the second in the Clint Eastwood dollar trilogy, and I think it's amazing. There's a bit in it, right, and it's near the beginning, and I taught my dad about this because he's really into westerns as well.
Yeah. And
he deals like the cards. He walks in and he's doing this whole like Clint Eastwood badass thing, and he starts dealing cards out for these two men that he's eventually going to kill, and deals them out with one hand to protect his gun hand, and then he has a fight, like a fist fight. And he only uses his non-gun hand to protect his gun hand.
Oh, that is really cool.
And I just thought it was real smart.
Yeah, I've never seen what's this? Which one's this?
For a Few Dollars More.
Yeah, I've never seen For a Few Dollars More. I've only seen Good, the Bad and the Ugly.
Yeah, well, I think For a Few Dollars More is close. It's close. And Good, the Bad and the Ugly has like some of the best shit in all of films.
Yeah.
That in 10 minutes is amazing.
Well, I haven't seen many westerns at all, really. So I'm not the expert on this, but
well, Ryan's super into them.
Yeah, Ryan's our Western resident expert on this channel.
Yes.
I am.
Would you like to?
Yeah, would you like to give us some thoughts about westerns?
Yeah. What's your favourite western?
The Good, the Bad and the Ugly is my favourite western.
Yeah, it's sort of hailed as I feel like that surpasses the genre.
Yeah.
You know how like Godfather, although a gangster film, it sort of is hailed as like a masterpiece in its own right, regardless of the genre.
Yeah.
I feel like The Good and the Bad and the Ugly is like that.
Yeah, I mean, I can say why you like. Do you like For a Few Dollars More than The Good, the Bad and the Ugly or not?
Well, I've watched them both once in their entirety, and I'm halfway through rewatching For a Few Dollars More, and I think pacing wise it's a lot better. But the thing is that even if I get to the end of the film, which I'll probably finish off in the next few days, only got half an hour left, even if I think it's better, it's still The Good and the Bad and the Ugly hits higher heights.
Yeah. I mean, one of the reasons, I think it's the main reason some people like it more than The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, is that you don't really realise that in The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, Clint Eastwood isn't really the star.
Yeah.
Whereas he is in For a Few Dollars More.
He is,
and
yeah.
he shares the spotlight with two. I mean, Eli Wallach's probably the star, really, of The Good, the Bad and the Ugly.
Yeah, you sort of follow him, don't you?
Yeah.
I think he's the relatable character in it.
He's got the most lines. You do see probably a lot more of him than Clint Eastwood. You don't really realise that though when you're watching it a lot of the time, I don't think. But that's one of the reasons why people seem to like For a Few Dollars More. Some people anyway.
Well, that's to be honest, that's what I was thinking as I'm watching it. I'm like, this is Clint at his best. And I feel like Clint at his best just goes like, he's like as good or better than every actor. You know what I mean? I really can't say that like Clint at his best is worse than anyone.
No, I agree.
Which sounds like a daft argument to me. I've still got a few to watch that are on my list, and I've also been putting on my IMDb list older westerns. So today, Rio Bravo came, which is a John Wayne film. I didn't realise this, but Assault on Precinct 13, which is a John Carpenter film from like the 70s. I think it's 70s, yeah?
Yeah.
That is a direct remake of Rio Bravo. But Assault on Precinct 13, I haven't seen it. I'm going to watch Rio Bravo first. I'm assuming it's either set in modern times or a little bit in the future.
I think just present day.
Yeah.
Well, for 1976, obviously.
Yeah. Well, I didn't realise that was a direct remake of Rio Bravo. I thought it was like just going to be loosely based on, because it's the same story.
Yeah.
And I knew that, but I didn't realise it was a proper remake.
Well, the thing is, because John Carpenter, his favourite genre is westerns, but he hasn't made a single western.
That is kind of mad.
That is
But
weird, that.
now that you've said that though, like Snake Plissken, total western hero.
Yeah.
Like it's just takes
He
tons
is,
straight
yeah.
out of it and put in the future.
Yeah.
But what has anyone else? Do you not watch westerns?
I don't watch westerns. I've only seen Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
You've seen Tombstone, you like Tombstone, don't you?
Oh shit! Yeah, I've seen Tombstone. I love Tombstone actually. Yeah, Tombstone's mint.
I haven't seen that. That's My Darling Clementine, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot better though, I think.
Yeah, I'd imagine it being a lot better.
It's mint.
I love My Darling Clementine though.
It's
Oh no, I didn't want to get.
Tombstone is Doc Holliday and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been Doc
Unreal.
Holliday.
Yeah.
Val Kilmer is fucking.
He's great in that film. Jesus Christ.
I love Val
But
We
Kilmer.
need to watch this film.
Val Kilmer kind of annoys me a little bit because I look at him in like some of his early films. I'm just like, you could have had the world. You know what I mean?
You
And
could have done so much more.
And people say he's a bit of a dick and hard to work with, and I think that's why. But wow, what an actor!
What's it?
Best part of Tomb Gun,
Tombstone.
of Top Gun. That's what it's going for. He's the best part of Top Gun by a mile, I think.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah. Tom Cruise is the best part of Top Gun though. 100%.
Nah.
But what's mad is I've actually played more Western games than I've seen Western films.
There are hardly any Western
I know,
games.
that's why it's
That is
insane. Like, I've played Gun, I've played all 3 of the Call of Juarez games, Red Dead Redemption.
Anyone play
That's
Red Dead
all
Revolver?
five. I've not, and I never will, because it's not even Rockstar's, it's not even the same, like,
It's not-
thing.
It was kind of good, actually. It's absolutely nothing like Red Dead
Yeah,
Redemption.
My dad
it's
bought
more
it.
Call of Juarez.
My dad bought it for us, and we played. You know, like you can just like go on the versus mode, and you just sort of
Yeah.
it's like a shoot 'em up. And yeah, I didn't really like it. But I watched a video. I think it was on IGN or something. It's like the history of Red Dead, and it takes you through all these games that sort of led to Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
And that was on it, obviously.
Yeah.
And it looked kind of good though. Like it wasn't how I remembered it, and I thought, you know, if that came out now, I'd probably be sold on it. Obviously, it was.
Did you play the Call of Juarez one where it's the cartel and that?
Yeah, that was shit.
It was so bad.
That was
I was really looking
awful.
forward to it, and I got it the day it came out. And literally, you know, when it loads and the first thing you're in the car chase,
Yeah.
I hadn't even done anything, and it just clicked in my head. And I,
Oh no,
this is shit.
awful.
I was so disappointed.
It was so bad.
I played about 20 minutes of it. I was like, I'm trading this in.
I played a good few hours, but I remember thinking like, because I had nothing else to play, I remember just being like, it might get better. And it never ever does.
Like, I've only played the demo for the second Call of Juarez, and I thought it was mint.
It was good. It was good. The second one you can pick to play as one of the 2 bros. It's
Yeah,
really, really good.
and like the
They have
controls
different
are really good,
abilities,
and
yeah.
the guns and that.
Yeah.
But
I thought
never
just-
got around to getting it.
Maybe it's just because of the title. I just thought it was COD, but a Western, like Western COD.
No, it's got like
Like I thought that was.
I
I
don't
it's a
think even
first
had multiplayer.
person shooter.
It's
Yeah.
a first person shooter. Yeah, but it's-
But when the advert came out, I was like, oh, just Activision just churned this out halfway through the year,
no,
just to
the second
fucking
Call of
get
Juarez
more
was
money.
good.
Yeah.
Really good. I would recommend going back and playing it. And they've got there was a new
Would you?
one. I would actually. 'Cause it was pretty good.
Oh,
they've
the
got a-
one where it's all like sort of comic book style.
Yeah, but it's like that
How
was
many
real.
of them is there?
There's 4.
Is there?
Yeah, they did the cartel one.
I thought
Then
there was
went,
2.
No, there was. Well, judging by the fact that we're talking about 4 of them, I should assume there's 4.
Well, I didn't know there was a Mexican cartel one. Is that the first one?
That's the 3rd one.
That's the third
It's
one.
set in like present
Modern day,
modern
yeah.
times.
Fuck,
It's
why did they
pathetic.
change it?
I don't know. And they quickly went, oh,
Yeah.
fuck this, and then
It's
went back.
Absolutely terrible.
Awful. And then Call of Juarez, I think called Gunslinger. I think you would enjoy that because it's more. It's less about like story. It's more about just being like a Western badass.
Yeah.
You know, it's like an arcade kind of game. Like you get points for like better shots and everything like that.
Alright, that's pretty
It's a
cool.
lot cooler for like if you want to be like, you know, just a straight up badass. And also it's got a kind of cool idea that the character telling the story is the character like that you're playing as. And he's telling the story to people in a bar, and like you'll say something, then they'll be like the characters that he's talking to will be like, oh, that's not very impressive. Then like the game will rewind a bit, and then like you'll be fighting like 2 Indians and Native Americans, and then all of a sudden you'll be fighting like 50 of them on a ridge or something. You've got to like kill them all. really kind of interesting idea how they do
Oh,
it.
so it's
Like,
like
he's telling the story, but obviously he's just bullshitting it all the way through.
He's
Him
embellishing it,
doing
yeah.
like a badass shit all the way through.
Yeah.
That sounds
Really
pretty
good.
cool, to be fair.
Really good.
I feel like
Really
I'd
good fun.
quite like to play that one.
Yeah, it is.
It's first person shooter, though.
Yeah.
First person shooters I'm not on board with.
I mean, like, why? Like, some of them are good.
I just play
I do agree.
every-
Most of them are shit.
every first person shooter, and this is why I'm a bit skeptical of Cyberpunk.
Yeah, but like, I have faith in Cyberpunk because of the team.
I know, but I'm just like I was watching the video about it, and someone said on whoever was making the video, they were like, oh well, what we didn't want is just The Witcher reskinned, and I was like, well, that might not be
That's
what
what
you
I
want.
want.
That's what I want. Like, I want The Witcher, but in this Cyberpunk world.
No, I like how they're going different. And not all first-person shooter games are bad. It's just when they make first-person shooter and there's nothing to do besides shooting people.
I feel like that's the majority of them.
Yeah, exactly. That's why most of them are bad, but there's a good few out there.
I just feel like it's hard. It's like hard to make like an entertaining first person.
It
Like,
is, I do agree.
I feel like COD gets it because it keeps it simple, but it's the online thing. It's like I don't play the COD.
No, who's played COD
Story.
Story since like Modern Warfare 2?
Yeah, like
Yeah, I think I played Modern Warfare 3. And
I think
that was
I
the
did.
last one.
I think that was just because I wanted to see what happened with Captain Price and stuff.
I watched my friend play Modern Warfare 3 on my disc and PlayStation.
Wow.
Because I just didn't want to.
I played a bit of a tiny bit of the Advanced Warfare story.
I didn't. Is that the one with Kevin Spacey?
Yeah.
No,
Oh yeah, no, I played that because it came out, and I was like, oh, Kevin Spacey, and this is before the whole controversy.
Yeah.
I've gone off him because of that.
Oh yeah, massively.
Massively. It's hard to watch American Beauty because of that. 'Cause
I
it's like
think-
American Beauty's so close to
Yeah,
it.
he's so close to what he is. Yeah.
I loved Kevin Spacey, but I wasn't surprised when that came out. I just always thought there was something a bit off about him. There's
Yeah,
some sort of aloof strangeness where, I wasn't
Suppose you're right.
surprised. Like,
yeah,
There's lines of dialogue in Baby Driver, if you watch it now, where you just cringe.
yeah.
That's where he's like, there's like a scene where he's like, "You're my baby" or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh.
well, John
Yeah.
Bernthal said
Yeah.
he was very disappointed. With
Yeah, John Bernthal said like he idolised him, and then like he was an absolute arsehole
Yeah.
when he shot.
and he said
Oh,
he just
really?
lost
Yeah.
all respect for him.
Yeah,
Oh, I love John Bernthal.
he was one of the like
Yeah.
actors who made him want to become an actor, and then he worked with him, and he was like, "It's the worst experience I've ever had."
Oh
on
wow.
set.
I
Yeah.
feel like John
That's really
Bernthal
bad, that.
could be like a modern day action hero, like comparable to like Arnie and that. Probably not as big because just
Definitely
action
not
films
as big as
aren't.
Arnie, like.
But I just feel like he could. I think he has that to carry a film like that, like sort of do the Liam Neeson thing. He'd probably be better at it, I think.
Yeah.
Mm.
I feel like he's got better choices in him as well.
Big thing to say, but he reminds me of De Niro.
Does he?
Yeah,
Hmm.
like just the way he acts, and he's like
He's quite subtle.
he's like good with the like physical side and the body language and that.
Yeah. I feel like
Yeah.
he's just got a good presence, I think.
Yeah, he has. I think he's
Punisher
really
is incredible.
good. I really
for
like the
sure.
Punisher. Yeah.
Oh, I still haven't finished it.
You know-
I'm sick of these Marvel Netflix shows. And I'm going to go on, one of the things I want to talk about today is praising Netflix. But this, I'm so done with it.
Yeah,
Some of
it's
them are
a
really
trailer.
good, some of them aren't. Like
The only thing that what makes us want to watch Daredevil season 3 is that
You're saying the trailer
yeah,
looks like it's just season 1 repeated.
season 1 with Bullseye, because Bullseye's in season 3.
What?
Bullseye, you know Colin Farrell from the Daredevil
It's not in the
trailer.
trailer.
Oh my god.
Yes. You know the FBI agent in the trailer
No.
of season 3.
Is this how you represent FBI agents?
That's what he's doing. All of his shit is this, and like the FBI agent in season 3 of Daredevil is going to end up being Bullseye later on.
Right. Well, it's just because the whole thing's about Wilson Fisk trying to take down Daredevil, and it's like they've already done that.
Yeah, but I think
he puts
that's
on
probably
the iconic
No.
You know-
suit.
Yeah.
You know what I hate
Yeah.
about Bullseye? Like, hate. It's the same thing I hate about Deadshot. If they're so fucking good at shooting people, why isn't Daredevil or Batman dead?
well no because when I saw this trailer, I looked on because I got the guy's name who in the FBI trailer, and I went
Right.
on and I like googled it and I couldn't find anything. I was like, is this Bullseye? Because I just recognised some imagery,
Right.
and then I realised that Bullseye himself doesn't actually have a name in the
Right.
comics.
Oh, right,
From what I
so it's
understand,
just
anyway,
Bullseye.
this could be wrong, but I don't think
I
he
don't know
has
anything about Bullseye.
an accurate because I think a lot of the stories are just when he's already Bullseye. There's no like origin or anything.
Right.
Or maybe there is. I could be talking right there. But anyway, on Wikipedia it was hard to find, and then I was like, and then I just googled Daredevil season 3 Bullseye, and it came up, and I was like, oh, so this is meant to be Bullseye, this FBI agent, I think, and then I looked on the Wikipedia page, and anyway, it says that he's not superhuman.
Right,
He just
yeah.
has a really good aim, but it's hard to hit. He finds it harder to hit moving targets. So there's a level of realism in it. But that's why he hasn't killed Daredevil.
So he's shit.
So he's like, it's literally no.
Yeah,
I can shoot someone if they're standing completely still. I'll get them then. But Daredevil just always moves.
But he can also take things that are like normal everyday things and make them into like weapons to the way he throws them. So like, I mean, an example they used was pencils, but I was like,
that sounds like an awful gambit. Like an awful gambit.
That's really shit. I didn't know
That
all
is
this.
shit.
well,
Bullseye's not a good villain. Like,
but the only thing that makes us want to watch season 3 is Vincent D'Onofrio's back as Kingpin,
Yeah.
probably in it. But I think it's going to be a 2-villain thing because in season 2 when they did sort of Punisher and Elektra.
Yeah.
Well, I think this one's going to be Kingpin and Bullseye. I just that
That'd be bad, 'cause
Elektra shite. Ugh.
Yeah, the Elektra parts really brought down season 2.
Yeah.
It's like Punisher parts were fucking incredible.
Because they take it
then
from
it's
this like neighborhood crime watching vigilante,
neighborhood Daredevil.
yeah, to this fucking supernatural kind of shite going on. And I'm like, nah, I'll check that.
I'm out.
Yeah.
I checked that then, yeah.
Makes you dislike Daredevil as well. I thought with the Elektra stuff.
Just makes us careless.
I
She,
never liked Daredevil.
He introduced to Karen,
Oh, yeah.
and she's like great, and then like he just shits on her.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like, from
yeah.
that point, like,
He
fuck
picks on
off,
Elektra.
you
He
dick.
picks Elektra
Yeah.
over. Yeah, and even as a viewer, it's not done subtly enough. And then maybe it's meant to be dramatic irony, but like, I feel like I was watching it and I'm like, why aren't you saying that she's just a total idiot? Like like everyone can see she's bad news, but you. And I'm like, no pun intended.
I don't get it.
Everyone can see.
Oh,
Which is
right.
bad news.
I thought it was the bad news. It's like he's not like a journalist or anything.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna check out the Marvel Netflix universe or whatever they're trying to call it. Is it the same thing as the Avengers?
No.
There's
Or is
references
it
to the
actually?
Avengers,
Yeah,
yeah,
there
like,
are.
there's references to like
But is
that
it-
Shield show as well in this.
Yeah, newspaper
yeah.
clippings and that of.
I mean, like,
Fuck that, man.
the
I mean, like,
Avengers.
I've never watched any of these Marvel Netflix shows, and I never will because I just think they all look like fucking awful. Like, just genuinely, they're all they're for one thing, they're all like D-list heroes because otherwise they get a film. Apart from Daredevil, who's like a A-list hero, but like Devil's shit. I hate Daredevil. He's literally just a blind bloke who like can see like a bat somehow, and it's.
I quite
it's
like
shit.
quite like the look of Luke Cage, but I was like, this just looks like like they've tried to do an 80s action film and just extended over like 13 episodes.
Yeah, like it's just it's
Doesn't
not
make
for
it
me.
that
Like it's not for me. I don't even like some of the A-list in Marvel like that they're trying to push on us. So why would I like any
Like
of these
who?
people? You know,
Like who?
like who? Like Captain America, Iron Man,
Spider-Man is the only one I like, really. of
Spider
Marvel.
Man.
Yeah, same. I like Captain America because he has good fight scenes.
He has good films. It's really mad that he has good films.
He doesn't
Out
have
of all
good
of
films.
He doesn't have good films. He has one fairly average film and another where they just called it a Captain America film, but it's actually an Avengers film.
Yeah, okay. I suppose you are right with Civil War.
The first film's terrible.
The first one was awful, but the second Winter Soldier's good.
It's solid.
Solid. It's a solid film. That's better than you can say for most Marvel films.
It is. It's a thing that I saw this morning, which I was going to talk about. We'll just talk about it quickly, because I don't really know anything about it, but I think you might.
Yeah, okay.
They're going to do another show, and I think it's going to be in the Arrowverse. Is that what they call it? The Arrowverse?
Yeah, the TV
Yeah,
universe
DC.
for DC, yeah.
The Arrowverse. It's weird that he's got the
I
fucking
know,
brand name.
yeah,
Like-
Green Arrow, everybody. Fucking hell.
Well, they're doing it's called a Secret Six, and I would literally care less, but Bane's in it.
Is he? I
Yeah.
know nothing about this.
Well, it's
They'll fuck him up though, they'll ruin it.
well. I had a quick look, and I think it's like Bane, Deadshot.
The worst.
I think Lobo or something, which is
Lobo?
terrible.
Lobo's in this.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you know who Lobo is?
Yeah,
Oh,
because of
man.
Injustice, and that's it.
Yeah, he's like a intergalactic space biker.
I think so.
Who's he gonna fit into this?
Oh, he was in the Superman animated series. I
He was,
remember.
yeah.
I think Lobo's in it. I'll show you the picture, but I'll have to find it.
Lobo's like a fan favourite.
But I think there's like maybe Catwoman or something. I don't know. I couldn't really tell from the picture who was who. I just knew Bane. You know, I saw
Bane, Deadshot, Catwoman, Lobo. how's he getting in here?
But then I looked at the Secret Six though, and I looked at the Wikipedia page, and like there's been obviously the variations
Yeah.
of it, and all of them are like that. Like they're all ridiculous. Like
Oh.
one of them's got the Flash and Bane teaming up. I'm like, what?
Yeah, no, I don't know that.
Anyway, they're making a TV series there, so I might give that a go, but solely because I like Bane.
Nah, I've heard out of all of DC's shows that The Flash is the only good one. Or at least moderately good. Like, you know, it has its good moments. You know,
It's just like
I've heard people want them to get cancelled now
yeah,
because they're just shit.
Yeah, like I've
they're
heard
really
Flash has
bad.
gone on
I
too
mean,
long. It's like
isn't
season
Flash's
5
best villain a fucking gorilla?
No, Gorilla Grodd.
What?
Gorilla Grodd.
King Kong?
Flash's best villain is Reverse Flash.
Yeah.
Who's just Flash but yellow and from the future.
what the fuck? I fucking hate comics.
See, I think that's just the laziest thing
It
to
is.
do
It's
for a villain.
like I don't like any of Flash's villains, but I like Flash. I think he's got good powers. He's got good ideas that can go with him, and he's got some good storylines in the comics. His villains are shit though. Like King Cold is one of them. It's literally just a bloke with a freeze gun. He's shit.
So
he's,
Mr. Freeze.
He's Mr. Freeze, but worse in every way. Cause he doesn't even have like a suit.
Oh, God.
He features.
And you think, how are you fighting Flash? Flash can run faster than light. How are you fighting the Flash?
I like Mr. Freeze.
I like Mr. Freeze because he's really quite a nuanced villain, like in his backstory. Like he's not even a villain because like he wants to be. He's only a villain to like try and save his wife.
That's
He
only
has
since
to be.
Batman the Animated Series, though.
Is it?
That's who you have to thank for that.
Oh, well, good because they really improved what could have been an awful, awful villain.
Yeah, they did.
They really did some good shit with that.
I love Batman's villains. Though. Like Batman, out of everyone, in like DC have awful villains, like absolutely awful villains. I really love most of Batman's. There's some of Superman's that are good. Like Doomsday is good in the comics. Brainiac's good.
Bring out the green one.
I think he's green.
It's green.
Are you on about him with a
Oh.
cape?
Nah.
Good.
I think he's got a big helmet on.
What's he called again? Marvin
Yeah.
the Martian or some shit.
Oh, Martian
Martian
Manhunter.
Manhunter.
Yeah,
Marvin the
that's it.
Martian. A better name, to be fair.
Martian Manhunter's. Nah, I can't really defend Martian Manhunter.
There's no defense in any of them.
There's defense in some. Like the problem DC has is that it has like 3 really great heroes. Like just really great.
Who?
Like I don't like Superman, but he is a great hero. Like loads of people love
So,
him.
Batman,
Yeah.
Superman,
Batman,
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman, yeah. Like Wonder Woman's, I like Wonder Woman, but like I'm not a massive fan.
Same.
And they've got those 3, and then everybody else is all shit. Like all D-list, every single person, apart from like people who are connected to those 3. Like Robin's great, Nightwing's great.
Nightwing's not great.
Nightwing's great.
Nightwing isn't great.
Superboy's shit though. So you know.
Terry McGinnis is the best one. Batman
Terry
Beyond.
Oh right, no.
Oh, did you know this? You know, in the early 2000s, they were gonna
Back in the day.
do an adaptation of The Dark Knight Returns, like proper live action film, fully.
Yeah.
And you know that they were gonna have play Bruce Wayne.
Who?
Clint Eastwood.
Oh.
Wouldn't that have just been amazing?
And then we come full circle.
That would have been good. That would have been a
That
good
would've been
segue into what I was going to
That
talk
would have
about.
been, yeah.
I've
sure.
spoke about this before, but I saw this thing on YouTube. This guy said what they should do because you know how I don't even know if I spoke about this on the podcast when I was saying they should cast Michael Keaton
You have, I
as
think,
Batman
before.
and do The Dark Knight Returns.
That would be good though. That'd be great.
It'd be mint. Or just do a full sequel to Batman Returns. But I don't think they should have Tim Burton direct it though.
No,
They shouldn't have Tim
definitely
Burton
not. He's
direct
lost his
any-
shit.
Did he ever have it?
Yeah,
Yes,
he's
he
made
did.
some fucking great films.
Okay.
Tim Burton is mediocre at best.
You've never seen Edward Scissorhands or The Night Before
I've
Christmas,
seen Edward Scissorhands.
Or Ed Wood.
and you don't.
I haven't seen Edward. Edward is something I'm actually interested in seeing.
Edward's one of the only ones I haven't seen. I really want to.
I want to see Edward.
That won the Oscar over Pulp Fiction, you know. Same year.
It must be good then.
Little
But,
fact trivia there for you.
Has anyone seen the new Titans trailer as well?
No, fuck that.
Oh no,
Fucking
fuck that.
Jesus
Looks
Christ,
shit.
man.
Actually, to be fair, the beginning of the trailer actually looked pretty solid, and then it got into like all the other bullshit, and I was like, this is shit.
It looks so awful, like in every way, in every single way. Why do they keep doing these things?
They just want to make money, it's
Do you
fine.
know-
I know they keep hurting their fans to make money, and they're not realizing that that's not how you make money.
I'm not sure. Like, I think we're in the bubble, which me and Ryan have talked about this before. I think because we're film students, we sort of look at things differently. So, for instance, something that may seem more original to a casual viewer, we've seen in like a film from like 40 years ago, which, you know what I mean?
I have to say,
Do you know what I'm saying?
like, I don't know, did I say this to you? I think we take for granted, like, how much we know about films.
Yeah.
And I don't mean this in a big-headed
It's not-
way at all, but
No,
it's
but
like...
I feel weird sometimes when I'm talking to someone who isn't really a film fan, because I'm like, if I mention a film, like, I don't want to come across, because I hate I don't want to come across as one of them who,
yeah.
you know, we've known some people
We have.
who think that they have they have this arrogance because they've seen more films than most people. And I hate that, but at the same time, when I'm talking to someone, I don't want them to think I'm like fucking talking down to them if I start explaining the plot of Dirty Harry or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like, so it's hard to know.
But like, you know, I've told you, but when
We're in
I
the
had
bubble.
the job interview at the cinema, and we all had to sit round, and we had these questions just like introduce ourselves, and it was like, what's your favourite film? What film are you most looking forward to in 2019? And I thought like, oh, this will be interesting. You know, a bunch of people want to work in the cinema talking about films. Everyone said the favourite film was a Marvel film, apart from I went with my friend, and her favourite was True Romance, which was interesting.
That is an interesting
person
choice.
said any Lord of the Rings film, and I was like, all right. And
It's
he said,
not any like this is. I'm sorry.
It's
Can I
Return
cut
of
off
the
for a
King.
second?
Yes.
It's
It's
Return of
not.
the King.
Yeah, it is because the other two are so much worse, and I won't even.
The other two are slightly worse.
and so
Yeah, slightly worse. That was an exaggeration, but I won't accept.
he
I won't
said
accept.
he can't choose, and he said the Hobbits are okay, and I was like, no, they're
Wrong.
not.
They're
Terrible. One person's favourite film was Step Brothers. Quite a few people said this film called Girls Trip, which I was like, how are these all your favourite films? Some of them have just come out. And so anyway, and they were all saying the films they're looking forward to are either Fantastic Beasts or the next Marvel film, the new Avengers one.
Oh.
And
Did anyone say Aquaman?
I think one person did say they were quite looking forward to
That's
Aquaman.
ridiculous, though.
And I said,
No.
and I didn't expect the response that I got. I said I was most looking forward to Dragged Across Concrete, the new S. Craig Zahler film, who did Bone Tomahawk, Brawl in Cell Block 99. And the staff at the cinema had never heard of it and didn't know what I was talking about, and they also hadn't heard of S. Craig Zahler. I was
No,
like-
but to be fair though,
I was like,
actually,
you just work in a cinema?
to be fair though, we went to see both them films and they were both at independent cinemas.
I know, but
So
you'd
Empire didn't even house
you'd
them.
think they'd work in a cinema and like at least know what the job is.
Well, I'm not
You
sure.
would think like people who work in cinemas will be pushing for independent.
Well, I
movies to
know,
get
and, like,
screened in bigger
exactly.
theatres, you know?
I don't know. Like I don't necessarily think that. I feel like if you work at this, like
Yeah, but
nobody's dream job's to work at the cinema and just fill popcorn. You know what I mean? Like it's a
Yeah,
job
I know.
you do and you get paid and it's good.
I know
But-
that.
But so then I don't think they'd be necessarily pushing for. Like, oh, going to the manager, oh no, we should get the new S. Craig Zahler film in, and then when they look it up on the internet, they go, why? Because like the last film he made only made like.
But my point is that
that's also not how
you'd
distribution
think
works.
you'd
so.
think they'd like
No, just
no,
be in the know.
at least like I thought like if I said I think probably Brawl in Cell Block 99 got more attention than Bone Tomahawk.
I don't know. Bone Tomahawk's on Netflix now. Like I think Bone Tomahawk.
Yeah, no, but Vince
something that-
Vaughn has been like kind of the talk of the town since that.
Has he?
Well,
I think
in
that's
terms of like
I think
kind
that's an
of.
in the bubble statement.
Uh,
Maybe we should
yeah,
get.
but
we
this
should
is
get
what I
merch
mean.
saying in the bubble.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to sound arrogant or pretentious, but I do think we kind of expect people to know a lot more than they actually do.
Yeah, I do have a tendency actually to. My girlfriend's not very into films, and I have a tendency with her to be like, oh no, you'll really enjoy this, and then we'll watch it, and she's like, oh, it's alright, and I'm like, how did you not like it?
How did you not love this?
Yeah, but then I sort of, after my overreaction,
Yeah.
I sort of realised like, maybe I like it because of it's what I'm into. Like if you're passionate about it, you pick the points you're passionate about. So I watched Halloween the other night
Yeah.
for the second time, and like I absolutely loved it, and I loved like all the tension, and I loved how it sort of. I think it's probably one of the best films I've seen where it does enough to make you constantly watch the background of every shot
Yeah,
to see
some
if
of
he's there.
Some of the best bits in Halloween is when, like, you know, he's in like the in between those like sheets in the back garden,
Yeah,
and like, or like he's like just past the hedge.
yeah.
It's so good.
And maybe that's just because I think people just want to be entertained, which is probably why, you know, like horror films that are predominantly story based rather than shocks.
Yeah.
Probably why they don't do as well.
Yeah.
And probably don't get like they get like a high Metacritic score, but they don't get a high IMDb rating.
Yeah.
I think that's probably why. I think
Like-
being in the bubbles
Like Paranormal Activity is always going to get more people watching it than say A Quiet Place.
Yeah, but part of that, I suppose, as well, like, I suppose where do you draw the line? Because in A Quiet Place, if it, objectively, and I suppose Metacritic and IMDb have the ratings higher than Paranormal Activity as well for that. So, I haven't seen it. So
I
I'm
mean,
just,
A Quiet Place did really well, to be fair, with critics and audiences.
it did, but I just mean, like, in terms of distribution, a company, a company would buy into Paranormal Activity because it's a series and it's got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 films already, and it's like they've all done relatively well, so it's the guaranteed money. Whereas A Quiet Place is like a new project, it's a new like thing where if the trailers don't sell it, or if they have like a bad, they can't even go back to relying on the name. Whereas like Paranormal Activity, like I'll know Paranormal Activity's out even without having to see the trailer because someone will go, "Oh, you've got to see the new Paranormal Activity," regardless of whether they're one of us. You know what I mean? Like it could be someone from work or whatever. Or I might just find a bus stop. You know what I mean? Poster.
I'm never at a bus stop.
But like, you know, when you walk past them, it's like that kind of thing tends to be on.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't really consider myself in this bubble that you're talking about for film at all.
But I think because we're such close friends, I think you're probably in the bubble. And we're talking about this. We've got
I'll leech knowledge off you.
we're all friends with. I mean, can we say names?
We'll do what,
We're all friends with someone,
right?
And
It's Jimmy Savile.
It's not. And he was saying the other day though, we were talking about Dirty Harry, me and Ryan, and he was saying that he wasn't sure whether he'd have ever heard of Dirty Harry if it wasn't for us talking about it, if you know what I mean.
All right.
So like, I suppose you don't really.
Who said that?
Kane.
Oh, Kane.
Yeah.
Alright.
Well, it's not like you don't pick up on the. You don't pick up on where you hear things from. You just sort of know that you hear them.
I suppose, yeah.
So maybe that's part of it. I don't know. We're in the bubble. I don't really know how to
We're
fix
in the
that
bubble.
because I think it's hard. Anyway, shall we move on?
Yeah, should try and pop this bubble a bit.
Yeah, let's open up. Well,
can I do my recommendations?
yeah. The bubbles. That was a good segue.
Yeah.
I like that.
Thank you.
Pop the bubble. Get it popped.
Or allow other people to step into this bubble
Yeah.
with these film
I
recommendations.
feel like if you try to step into a bubble, it would pop
It would
though.
pop.
No, I've seen people put fingers into bubbles and release it.
So what are these recommendations?
So these
for?
are
Just for the-
for Red Dead Redemption 2 to try and get in the mood for some westerns. And these aren't necessarily my favourite westerns. They're just
These are
ones
just
that
westerns
would seem to like match things that
Yeah.
are going on.
Yeah.
Well, before you say this, you were saying to me the other day you picked these because Red Dead 2 looks like it's a lot about being in the world and travelling and like sort of exploring.
Yeah, so these
And
are
also gang activities.
yeah, they're not like where it's in a settlement or a town. It's a lot of travel. More anti-heroes than straight up good guys. And a lot of gang stuff as well. So the first one, True Grit, both versions, either version, take your pick, watch one, watch both, or watch none.
I think if you're recommending someone to get into it, probably go for the newer one.
Yeah.
I imagine I haven't seen the newer one, but I just imagine it's easier to get into. I watched the John Wayne one last week actually, and although I thought it was good, it's still you can feel it being dated.
You can.
You know what I mean? I feel like the Coen brothers will have just totally modernised it.
They have, and it keeps intact, because I've read the book as well, and it keeps all the violence from it.
Yeah.
It's got the travel thing, you know, that he's going out to help this girl avenge the death of her dad, going after a gang, you've got all the gang activity in it.
I actually kind of think, I know this is a bit off topic, but I think westerns would probably be more popular if there was a level of ultra-violence action in it. Sort of as if it was like, you know, Django was massive.
Yeah.
Django was like the shit for a while, but the thing is like, from Django, you can watch Django, but then there's not really anywhere to go, because you can't go back to the old Django films, because they're not like it.
No, they
So
aren't.
there's nowhere to go from that to get a similar vibe. That's easy to access.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Maybe you go to the Hateful Eight.
Yeah, but even the Hateful Eight, like, yeah, I suppose to a point, but it's still like the Hateful Eight's not. I know it's a western, but I feel like it's a western because it's set then. Like, no, what I kind of mean is,
period.
Is that like Breaking Bad's kind of a western,
Yeah.
but it's set now.
Aye.
But like, I think The Hateful Eight is more of like a crime film.
We'll come back to Breaking Bad.
We'll come back to Breaking Bad.
So there's True Grit. There's your reasons. Oh, and Rooster Cogburn, great lead character. Yeah.
Yeah, if you went sold on it, he's got an eye patch
Oh, I'm in.
and a black cowboy hat, and I feel like that's all you need in a good western.
You know, it's weird as well. He doesn't have an eye
patch.
patch in the book,
Does he not?
but he has an eye patch in both films. But they swap over which eye it's on in the remake.
Oh, I like that.
If I was ever writing a book, I would give all of my characters eye patches. Come on.
If
Every single one of them.
And then I'll be like, not
Where
being able to
everybody's
pick
left
anything
eye
up.
is taken out at
Yeah.
birth.
and then there's one person. It's like
One
it's like
person
Children
has
of
two
Men.
eyes. Yeah.
I haven't seen Children of Men, but I imagine it's like that. So
That's really good.
everyone,
This is
everyone,
great. What are we doing on
but
this
one,
podcast?
everyone but one person's got two eyes, and you get someone who's like a badass person with one eye to protect the one with two eyes because they're so precious.
I love it. I love it already. I really dig it. And then at the end, he takes his eye patch off, revealed he has two eyes.
Oh yeah, and then it becomes a thing of like they were protecting each other.
Yes. Oh my god. This shit just writes itself.
God.
Get back to your West.
So the next one, Unforgiven. Yeah. So Clint Eastwood. He used to be an assassin, and then he has to take on one final job.
I feel like it's quite, from what I've heard, it's quite realistic.
It is
and
very
non-Western.
realistic. It's very dark. I mean, quite a lot of the action does take place towards the end in this town.
Morgan Freeman's in it as well.
Yeah, and it's very morally a lot of grey areas. No, like that's the thing. You know, Gene Hackman's basically the villain of it. But if you watch the film, if they made it from his point of view, he could easily be the hero.
Thought-provoking.
It's no war. You've got no good guys, no bad guys. It's all very
Oh, good shit.
I'm
morally
getting towards it,
violent as well.
but I'm kind of me new Western hype's based on just older westerns where it's just dudes
Just one guy kicking ass and
Killing-
badass and
killing
stuff.
everyone. Yeah,
Yeah.
just like, there's a shot in the John Wayne True Grit where he's on a horse and it cuts to him and he's got like two guns and he's just like bam bam. It's
You're like,
great.
oh, best film ever.
Yeah, it's actually mint.
So next one, very long title. Did you say that?
No.
Okay, never mind. Okay,
I think so, yeah.
I'll go back to that. So the next one, long title: The Assassination of Jesse James by the Coward Robert Ford.
This is the one with Johnny
Part
Depp in
2. No, we're joking. No, it's Brad Pitt
it. Oh yeah.
and Casey Affleck.
Oh, I thought this was like an 80s film.
No,
Oh, see,
I don't know what
See?
you're
see,
thinking
I'm
of.
not in the bubble.
You're not in the bubble.
So yeah, true story. Basically, great gang activity, lots of travelling, great cinematography. It's quite slow and more of a thoughtful western. But I mean, there's a shot in Red Dead Redemption 2 that looks like it's taken straight out of this film.
Oh yeah.
So it seems to be a very clear influence.
Oh, great.
So I'll flag that up for yous. Next one, The Searchers, John Wayne, classic.
Is that the one we watched in class?
Yeah.
That was awful. Don't listen to this man.
Shit sons of travelling.
The
It's
thing
a bit
is,
more good guy, bad. I mean, it is like you really have to look for the sort of moral ambiguity in it because it is a classic,
Like incredibly
classical
dated.
western.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, if you look at it compared to other westerns of the time, there's a lot more going on under the surface.
You know what I don't like about it is that people say that about it, and I understand that technically there is, because there's a lot of like it's like a lot of it like socially political with like race and stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's pretty on the nose, and anything else is just like a regular cowboy film. Like I feel like when you watch the Dollar Trilogy, I feel like Clint Eastwood is changing westerns. Oh, actually, I learned something the other day about the Dollar Trilogy.
Oh.
So, oh shit, it's not a Dollar Trilogy. It's something else. It's a cowboy film that Clint made afterwards. And he directed it, and he stars in it.
High Plains Drifter.
It might have been. It doesn't really. I think it is. I think it's High Plains Drifter. So he got the script or whatever, and he was going to direct it, and he wanted John.
Oh, he wanted John Wayne. John Wayne didn't want to do it.
Yeah, and John Wayne didn't want to do it because he thought the Dollar trilogy had sort of bastardized the classic western.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah, which I thought was an interesting
Idiot.
story.
And,
It is idiotic.
That's one of the problems with John Wayne. He's in this film called Big Jake, and it's quite late on, and it could have been like a really good sort of gritty western, but it's too. That was one of the criticisms. It's like, you need to move on from this classic era. The genre's changing, and stop not letting it evolve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that Clint Eastwood did. I mean, it's a really weird film. It's nothing like what I thought it would be. It's basically a horror film, really. Highlands Drifter. Yeah, it's really strange.
That's also on my list. I've got Outlaw Josie Wills in that for the next couple that I think I'm gonna watch.
I think that I'll make a statement about westerns here. I think I prefer space westerns to normal westerns.
Okay.
Name just the Star Wars thing.
Like,
Oh, I love Han Solo, yeah. But I think Cowboy Bebop is better than any other western I've ever seen.
Okay, that's
genuinely.
ridiculous.
Cowboy Bebop's amazing, and you simply won't watch it because you don't like art.
I don't like anime.
Yeah, but this is so not anime really.
But it is anime.
It's anime in its style, but it is all of the things that would make an anime. But in its context and everything, it's really so not anime. It's so apart from that.
I think anime
It's
is
pretty
stupid and for nerds.
if you are getting into anime,
Cowboy Bebop's a great starting place.
Yeah, but if you're already into anime, you've probably seen it. So
you definitely have seen it if you're already in anime.
But if you're already in anime, rewatch it.
Yeah, because it's unreal.
What's next on your list?
So the final one, Wild Bunch.
Yeah. It's pretty
You've
obvious.
seen it, haven't you?
I have. I watched that a few weeks ago as well.
It seems to be a massive influence on both the games. Super violent. Absolutely amazing climax.
It's sort of, what's kind of mad is that if you told us, I mean, taking away from, who's in it and sort of the way it's shot and the way it looks.
Yes.
If you watched it just without knowing anything about it, I would say it probably comes late 80s because it seems to like the end is like something out of an 80s action film. It's like something out of Rambo 2.
Yeah. And can we mention Rambo?
Good segue.
So when Rambo 5 was announced, I said ages ago they should call it Last Blood, and they've called it Last Blood.
Oh my god!
How amazing is that?
It's such an obvious thing. I don't know why you're proud of this.
Because they went from First Blood to First Blood Part 2.
Yeah, they've not been great in their naming conventions, which should show you why it's so obvious.
Why not even Second Blood? First
That'd
Blood
be awful
Part
if
2.
it continued like that. First Blood, Second Blood, Third Blood.
That is a good point.
I really hope Sylvester Stallone brings in a performance like he did in Creed for this.
I think it'll be good. I think he might die in the end though.
I think
hope
he'll definitely
that
die in the end.
would be a
He's
good
the last blood. Come on, guys.
Yeah. If we've basically got Logan with Rambo.
Yeah, that'd be mint.
That'd be pretty sweet. Except
I'm gonna rewatch the fourth one because
So
is the fourth one the one where you just there's literally 20 minutes of unfiltered footage of him just mowing down someone with an LMG.
Yeah. And it's just people are just fucking exploding.
It's take the legs off and shit.
Yeah, I'm not a
so
fan of that film.
I don't know. Yeah, I like how graphic it is, and I hope the next one is as graphic. That's why I'm gonna go back and watch it. I remember in my head I'm sort of I don't know whether I enjoyed it, but I want to rewatch it just to know.
Oh,
yeah.
So back to your point about Breaking Bad being a western. Gonna segue from that.
Such a western.
I'm gonna say something that I can't seem to find anyone on the internet saying. That is that Better Call Saul is a massive disappointment.
Yeah, it is. I agree.
And
I
it's so boring. And it constantly cock teases you with, Breaking Bad would build suspense, but sometimes it would deflate it. But then it would build up and you're like, this is all going to kick off. And it would. And Better Call Saul hasn't done that even once. And it just constantly builds suspense, then deflates it. And it's just so boring. And I don't care, all these people it's a different kind of show, you can't expect Breaking Bad. But you can't make it in a way that's so similar to Breaking Bad and calls back those things and makes you feel that way. And then just kick you in the balls.
The problem is that it's a prequel and it's like they really can't do anything.
There's so much
Like,
they can do.
No, but the thing is, yeah, have you not seen it?
No, not
Well, the
even
thing
right,
is, they
but-
take it. It's such a prequel, but it's so far behind Breaking Bad that like Better Call Saul's in it, and so's Mike, and later on Gus comes into it. But like everyone else is just expendable. Like none of them are in
Oh right, okay.
Breaking Bad later, and I think Ryan's. We were talking about this before. My criticism of the show is that I think it's been written wrongly from day one. So like, I think they started in the wrong place. I think they started doing the things that they should have kept for later. They started doing, but then because it's so early in the season, they didn't want to fucking pay it off right.
Yeah.
And then it's like you're left with just like teasing audiences constantly.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
It's sort of like Walking Dead with it. Like, you know, Walking Dead does it with the cliffhangers like every episode.
yeah.
But like that's become a staple of the show. Whereas Better Call Saul is like putting itself out to be this crime drama, and it's
It's just. I mean, I've
dull.
got one episode of season 4 left to watch, so I don't know if it's actually going to happen here. But he's still not Saul. He's still not Saul Goodman. And right, the end of every you know, you'll see a news article say, I'll type in Better Call Saul and on Google it'll have news articles. At the end of every season, there's one published saying Jimmy McGill finally transforms into Saul Goodman. And I'm like, he fucking doesn't.
Yeah. Well,
Stop saying it.
You know, I think
And they've said that for this one. So I'm like, maybe he will, maybe he fucking won't, because they're a bunch of liars.
the end of season 2. You know, when he leaves the law firm,
Yeah.
and this is slight spoilers, but I mean it's been out now. It ends with him driving out, and in my head I'm like, yes, season 3 is gonna be mint. He's gonna be Saul. Like the next thing he's gonna do is open up Better Call Saul, and it's gonna be as like a fuck you to the law firm. Like I'll do it my way.
Yeah.
And he doesn't.
Still hasn't.
He doesn't. He just doesn't. Ah,
And right, you
I'm
know,
annoyed about it too.
a lot
I
of
stopped
the
watching it.
seasons are taken up by his schemes, and they're just so fucking boring and go on for so long.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, look at how good he is at manipulating the law. It's like, I don't want to see that, for God's sake. Like, I think you were right in saying that the spin-off should have been about Mike.
Yeah.
It's way more interesting. There's way more to do. And
You could have still
because
had
the
Saul in
problem
it.
is all the things with Saul and that are the most boring parts of the show.
Yeah. Well, I found that. That's why I stopped watching, because every time it goes to Mike, it's good.
Yeah.
And every time it's about Gus, it's good. And every time it's about like any character that's been in Breaking Bad, good.
I have
But when
to
it's-
go in now. Sorry.
When it's Saul, it's bad. Okay.
So Doctor Who gives a fuck. That's what you said. Oh, what Paul said.
Yeah, I said that. I was gonna say, don't you fucking dare take my joke and broadcast it to the thousands of people watching.
The thousands and millions
millions.
of
Doctor. Why bother? Doctor. What the fuck is going on that this show's as popular as it is?
It's probably the worst TV show.
Doctor,
Period.
how the fuck did he become a woman?
Yeah.
Whoa!
Doctor. Doctor. When will it end? There's a good point brought up. I mean, it was on The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, okay.
But when Amy says that for someone who can travel anytime and anywhere in all of space, he really has a thing for modern day London.
yeah, right.
That is a good point.
Yeah, so
It does.
You know what is actually the worst thing about it, and I was sort of talking about this the other day. It's anytime. Before I say this, I'm usually someone who gives credit to someone trying to be unique, but I feel like every time Doctor Who goes away from the conventions of traditional sci-fi to try and do its own unique take on something, it's just absolutely shit.
Like when?
Utterly
Name
For
a
a-
Doctor Who episode you've seen apart from the one we all watched together. And
I've seen too many.
And then you.
I've seen
Name one.
too fucking
Name
many.
one.
I've seen the two-parter with the gas chamber mask kid.
That
which,
was one of the best
which is-
episodes. That
it
was
is-
mint.
really scary, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly.
The werewolf one's shit.
Yeah, okay.
All the Cybermen ones are shit because the Cybermen are shit.
Same with all shit like.
All the Daleks are shit because it's shit.
Dogs are alright.
No.
Got some good times.
No, they're not. Right, this is why
I like
Doctor
the
Who
Daleks.
is bad. It's because he has this sort of fake in-your-face charisma, which everyone seems to love for some reason, mixed with the fact that every arch nemesis he has is boring. The Daleks aren't scary. The Cybermen aren't scary. The Cybermen they looked at Terminator and went, how could we do the worst possible version of that?
Cybermen was out way before Terminator.
Yeah, the Cybermen were first.
Yeah, I can't really...
Yeah, you're an
can't
idiot.
argue against that. But it's
To be fair, it was just men wearing cardboard boxes wrapped in
No,
tinfoil.
it was men that were cyber.
terrible, and I haven't seen an episode in quite some time, thank God.
I think I've seen
Never
all
mind.
the Christopher Eccleston ones.
I've seen the majority
All
of
of
them.
them were good.
And I've
all of
seen
the Christopher Eccleston ones were
loads
good.
of David Tennant ones. And I don't know why, because I've never liked it.
all the Christopher Eccleston ones were good. I'm not a big David Tennant fan, even though everyone in the fucking world seems to be.
I like David Tennant.
I like him as an actor, but I mean like in Doctor Who.
Oh, right, okay.
You know?
fair enough.
Like I like him as an actor, but in Doctor Who, I was like, fuck him.
You know who I did quite like?
And then Matt Smith was my favourite.
I quite liked Rose.
Oh, Rose! Everyone loves Rose as
I
well,
like
and I think
Rose.
Billy Piper is just a fucking idiot.
I like Billy Piper.
No, fuck
I
off.
think she's cute.
But,
She's not gonna keep her teeth
I don't
in.
know, I think she's
I mean, away
good
from-
darts player.
I thought she was just quite good in the role. Like I thought she was quite wholesome.
She was alright in the
She was
role.
good in
She
the
wasn't
show.
his best companion by far.
I liked it. I gravitated to her quite a lot, but then you know when
David Tennant.
David Tennant just got up and left her. They just
He didn't leave her. She got like transported to an alternate dimension.
and he was like, nah.
She was. He couldn't be
Yeah,
like
he
nah. She was on the other side of a wall.
Well, when she was took out the series,
Yeah.
I went nah. Like this was the final thing that had
Final
gone
nail
for
in the
it.
coffin.
Yeah, the last thing that I had going for them was the relationship between them. I thought it was a good romance, but then they took her out of it, and I was like, you know, you're just gonna repeat it with whoever the next one is. And also something that I've never really considered until now: why is the assistant always a woman? And he was always. I mean, now the doctor is a woman.
It's not always a woman.
Really? I've never
Back
heard
in like the
but-
60s or something, didn't he have like a male companion called like the Brigadier or some shit like that?
I don't know, but that's not now. Like I think.
Oh, he's never had one. I'll give you an example. Yeah, but that's not now.
No, but it's they rebooted it though.
Right, yeah.
So, you know, I mean, the '60s ones are terrible to watch,
Yeah, I'm not a
Awful.
fan.
but
Yeah.
and they haven't aged
They
well
are,
even
most,
slightly.
they are mostly women since it started. He has had a...
Yeah, I just kind
what's
of
his name? Mickey? What was his name? Was that
Mickey
his name?
Smith.
Mickey, the black guy, and
Yeah.
with Rose.
Oh yeah,
He
no.
was his companion for a little bit.
Yeah, but it wasn't proper.
It wasn't
and
a proper companion. I
like
suppose.
it's never like a buddy thing.
He was
It's
always
just
the
like
third wheel.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's an added character. And then they had
Rory was the companion once with
Rory was,
Amy.
yeah.
they had that guy where they did the spin off with Torchwood. I can't remember his name.
Oh, Jack. In the show.
Oh, Jack.
What's his
Captain
name?
Jack? I can't
Yeah.
remember his...
Yeah,
Captain Jack Sparrow.
I-
What's his name again? Is it Barry?
Yeah, Christopher something. Is it Christopher?
No.
No, it's Barry. So anyway, Barry. I've seen the video where he's on something and he falls off the stage. I was watching Jodie Whittaker on Graham Norton, and
The new Doctor.
I love her.
Yeah, she
so
seems
good.
so
She's
nice.
she's
so
really
down
nice.
to earth, but interesting and funny. And I'm just waiting for her to get divorced. Other than that,
Jesus.
She does
Oh,
seem really nice.
She
And
seemed lovely.
and
Didn't
I've seen
expect
her.
the accent.
I've seen her in a few other things. I think, and from what I remember, she's good. She's always like the star of what she's in,
Yeah.
even if she's not billing wise.
I don't
she
know.
was in Broadchurch with the other Doctor Who actor, David Tennant, and Broadchurch was absolutely shite.
Yeah, I've heard about Broadchurch being shit.
It was terrible. It was
not fun.
it was really bad.
Right.
No, Paul, it was just terrible.
Right.
Paul,
Was it worse than Doctor Who?
probably yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
big
it was
company.
just
Terrible.
let's move on.
Just
I don't
really
even want to
bad.
talk about it.
So Dan, why do you like Doctor Who?
Why do you still like Doctor Who? Yeah, because I can understand liking it up until when Matt Smith leaves, and then that's it.
See, Matt Smith wasn't even my favourite.
That's because you're an
Yeah.
idiot. And Matt
David
Smith-
Tennant was my favourite,
Of
but
course it was.
I just think Doctor Who's fucking fun, you know. So
I
I'll go for it
understand.
all.
I can understand.
I
enjoying
don't
it 'cause
like.
it's
I wouldn't
fun.
necessarily say I'm a massive hardcore fan. I'll get offended if you like shit on it.
You just said you've seen this new episode
I
twice.
am. I really fucking like the new episode.
We're recording this on the Thursday.
You only have like 4 Doctor Who posters in your room.
I used to have one. That was the Day of the Doctor one where you've got John Hurt in there. I think it's fun. I enjoy it.
John Hurt.
It's like I've watched Doctor Who, like the new, obviously not the old ones, but I've watched the new ones ever since they came on.
Since 2005,
Yeah,
I can understand that, yeah.
It's just someone. It's like you with Coronation Street.
I don't.
Oh, call
I
them
just
out!
watch- I just watch it.
Oh.
I watch it sometimes with me mum and dad.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think you do.
Okay.
I think
you
they
record it
I think
and
they
shit.
watch it sometimes with you. Before we moved on, I want to talk about Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is Christopher Eccleston like this is what annoys us actually, right? So the lore of Doctor Who is that that he or she now changes bodies, sort of
Yeah,
You know
It's
what I
like
mean?
a regeneration.
regeneration. But the character, like, he changes character.
That's the point. He
That's the
regenerates
point.
all of it. It's like his entire personality.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
See, I just
So
thought it was
basically,
that's the point.
Yeah,
that was like aesthetically.
he's just
No.
like rebuilt.
Yeah, like it is literally. That's why he gets like.
So why did
sad.
they all-
That's why.
That's
So
why
why-
it's such a sad moment when he dies, because like if he was just changing body, it wouldn't really be sad because it'd still be the same person.
So why?
But, like,
And then he just doesn't remember
So why does all?
anyone that he's with. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's what you get with the companions every time.
So why do they all have to go on like idiots? You know, I actually imagine Jodie Whittaker they probably take it a little bit more serious because it's a bit more of a progressive thing. And
I saw a clip.
That's what
of,
it doesn't look like it is.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
really?
still looks
It's like
like
she's the same
Kenny
mad
Zaney
kinda-
in that.
oh man, it's,
Christopher
Yeah.
Eccleston though was the best at this because he wasn't like that. Like,
Mm.
well, that's what I mean.
No one liked that though.
I love
apparently.
that. I
I know,
thought
I
it was
love
in.
that, but it wasn't
I like
popular.
Yeah, you only ever act like that very rarely, and it was only like in extreme moments of joy.
Yeah.
You know, that would
That's-
warrant something like that.
That's why Capaldi was so disappointing.
Ah, Capaldi. No,
Because
I
it was
haven't
like
watched
it could have
any of
been good. You're like it could go back to an old cynical man.
Yeah, he
It
could have-
didn't. It
yeah,
would just
he
try to be Matt Smith.
He should have. He should have actually.
Actually,
That would have been a great opportunity to go back to like how Christopher Eccleston played the character.
He should have just played Malcolm Tucker.
He should have. That would have been
Have you seen the trailer that someone made when he was announced as Doctor Who?
Yeah, well, it's
Oh,
just him swearing.
That's so
at them.
funny. I would have loved that. That would have been so good. Like, he would be like, you know, if you breathe a word of this to anyone, you mincing fucking cunt. Like, imagine that in Doctor Who.
That would be great. I would really love
Just
that. That would
recycle
really-
all the lines from the thick of it.
That would really bring me back in. Like he doesn't even speak any lines. It's just they take the lines from the thick of it and play it over Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Like that's how they
It would
release
have
it
been
to everybody.
Or like if his companion makes a mistake, like, oh, you're as useless as a marzipan dildo.
That would have brought me back just out of intrigue more than anything.
I would have just watched every episode religiously if they did that.
But, like, Doctor Who, yeah, like I feel like Jodie Whittaker will do an excellent job,
She's
but I'm
great.
still not going to watch it just simply because I'm kind of over.
I'm
it.
not gonna watch it. I don't
I
really
will
care
watch-
whether she does a good job or not, to be honest. But
I
don't
watch
know,
every episode.
I hope the show gets cancelled.
I honestly,
I don't
I'm
think it
really
ever will.
surprised because I thought after Capaldi it was going to die.
Yeah, like I feel like it's really dropped off.
Yeah, it really did.
It really
I
heavily
don't
dropped
think
off.
it, like I know like the thing is actually with Christopher Eccleston and David Tennant, it seemed to be more ingrained in sort of socially it seemed to be like quite popular thing to talk about,
It was,
and
yeah.
then now it seems to not be. But I feel like that cult audience is still there,
No, yeah,
and the
no,
cult
yeah.
audience is so big.
Yeah, you are right.
It's kind of like James Bond, really. I just don't think it's ever going to go away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
It
is a
is-
shame.
it's a staple of British TV. I just wish actually that they'd just give it a few years break and then come back and go, we're doing everything different, and these Cybermen and Daleks, we're changing everything about them.
I mean, like people would hate that. Fans would hate that.
Yeah, I know, but it's just like, how do you watch that and go, oh, I can buy into this? It's dumb. They look shit.
I mean, like it's.
I'm not threatened by
That's one
anything.
of the things. I think the special effects for it are just so shite.
They are.
But-
isn't it?
But
The thing is,
they
though,
should
they're meant to be,
work.
though.
They should work with the budget they have and not try and like overshoot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they can still do some good stuff with a special effects budget and technology they have, but it's like they go way overboard. Like, you know, I rewatched the Werewolf one a couple of years ago, and it was really
Yeah,
hard to
terrible.
watch.
Yeah.
Oh, is it not good? I remember it being quite scary when I
Fucking
watched
looks
it.
shite.
It's the one in like a big hotel.
No, it's like
it's
it's
like
in like
Victorian-
it's like
Victorian
Victorian,
times
yeah.
for some
Alright.
reason.
Yeah.
I don't really know
Have
why.
you seen the one with the giant bee?
No.
That's the worst episode ever made of TV, that one.
What year is that? Is that?
That's David Tennant.
Is it?
Yeah, it's when he's got Martha, the worst companion.
That's the thing is after Rose left, David Tennant's
Was that
sort
Catherine
of
Tate?
time in the role.
No,
was
Catherine
sort
Tate was the best companion.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't trying to like suck the doctor's dick every second. Like, they weren't writing her like, oh, she should want to bang the doctor every single scene.
I don't like that as well. I don't like how they're not just. I think it would be better if it was like became a bit more of a buddy show.
Yeah, like that's what it was with Catherine Tate. She was like constantly just like constantly like, I don't want to shag you. I just do that. I don't even know why I'm here. Just making jokes all the time. I was like, this is a great side piece. You know, a great character to be on his side.
Like that's what I kind of mean, where it always seems to be the woman in the make. I mean, I don't know who the Jodie Whittaker sidekick is.
It's like 4 people in this.
It's going to be Bradley Walsh though.
It's probably right. So.
He's so old. What's
But then
happening
they're
here?
just going to reverse
I
it.
like
Like
Bradley
I feel
Walsh.
like the
Bradley Walsh.
progressive thing to do would be to have Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor, and then have a woman side character, and just have them like
It could
just
still happen
buddying
that
up,
way.
like fighting crime.
I think
It
I would
might,
like that.
it might
I
happen
hated the
that
romance in
way.
Doctor
There's 2 characters in it. There's a police woman in it, and there's another another female character there, but like they're not really characterized that well. But it could go that way with a police woman.
Yeah.
But I think it's more likely to be Bradley Walsh because he's the more well known
Yeah.
of the 2. But I still think there could be a really good dynamic between them 2, which is going to be a lot different for the show
Yeah.
compared to what we've had in the past.
I like that it's sticking to its progressive guns.